Chosen ones, listen closely, because this moment is not random and this message is not accidental. There are times in life when heaven goes quiet, and then there are moments like this when everything suddenly becomes very clear. This is one of those moments. From this moment forward, God has spoken something specific over your life, something narrow, something focused, something that cuts through all the noise and distraction you've been carrying. From this moment forward, this is your only primary assignment. Not the opinions of people, not the expectations that were placed on you years ago, not the roles you accepted just to survive. God is shifting you from survival into alignment, and alignment always comes with clarity. You have spent seasons multitasking your destiny, trying to carry callings that were never meant to be permanent, trying to fix things you were never assigned to fix, trying to save people who refused to walk toward the light you were offering. But now God is saying, enough scattering your energy, enough explaining yourself, enough proving your worth. From this moment forward, your assignment is not to be everything to everyone, but to be obedient to the one thing God is asking of you right now. And that one thing may not look impressive to the world, but it carries weight in the spiritual realm. You may have noticed that your tolerance for distraction has already been decreasing. Things that once held your attention no longer satisfy you. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel draining. Places you used to enjoy now feel heavy. This is not because something is wrong with you. It's because your assignment is narrowing. When God prepares to elevate a chosen one, He simplifies their focus. He removes excess. He strips away the unnecessary, not to punish you, but to protect what He is about to entrust to you. This primary assignment is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about guarding your spirit. It's about staying awake. It's about obedience in the small, quiet moments where no one is clapping and no one is watching. God is not asking you to chase platforms right now. He's asking you to master alignment, because influence without alignment leads to collapse, but alignment always produces lasting impact. You may feel like you've been in a waiting season, but this waiting was not idle. This waiting was training. God was teaching you discernment, teaching you restraint, teaching you how to hear His voice even when everything around you was loud, and now that training is being activated. From this moment forward, your primary assignment is to move when He says move, and to stay still when He says stay. That alone will separate you from many. Some people around you won't understand this shift. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're distant. They'll say you're no longer available the way you used to be. And they'll be right, because availability to everything is disobedience to something. God is removing you from constant access so you can operate in divine assignment. You are not being isolated, you are being positioned. This assignment will require you to say no without guilt and yes without fear. It will require you to trust God even when the path doesn't make logical sense. It will require you to stop asking for validation from people who were never assigned to understand you. God did not choose you to blend in. He chose you to carry something specific, something rare, something that cannot be diluted by compromise. There is a reason you've survived what should have broken you. There is a reason doors closed even when you were qualified. There is a reason delays followed moments of promise. It was all part of refining your focus. God was protecting you from stepping into rooms before your assignment was clear. Because when a chosen one walks into the wrong room at the right time, it still causes damage. Timing without assignment leads to confusion, but assignment aligned with timing releases authority. From this moment forward, your primary assignment is not to rush the process, it is to trust the process, to remain rooted when impatience tries to pull you out of position, to resist the urge to compare your journey with others who were never called to walk your path. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to abandon your assignment without realizing it. God is not asking you to be ahead of anyone. He's asking you to be faithful. You will notice that God is sharpening your discernment. You'll begin to sense things before they happen. You'll feel uneasy about certain decisions even when they look good on the surface. That's not fear, that's guidance. Your assignment requires sensitivity, and sensitivity requires stillness. This is why God has been pulling you away from constant noise. You cannot hear instructions in chaos. This assignment also comes with responsibility. Responsibility to your inner life, responsibility to your thoughts, responsibility to the words you speak over yourself. You can no longer afford casual self-talk. You can no longer afford to agree with labels that God never gave you. From this moment forward, your words must align with your assignment, because your mouth can either reinforce what God is building or sabotage it before it manifests. There will be days when this assignment feels lonely, days when you question if you're doing enough, days when you wonder if you missed something. But understand this, obedience often feels quiet before it feels rewarding. The harvest does not announce itself while the seed is being planted. But just because you don't see immediate results does not mean nothing is happening. In the unseen, things are shifting in your favor. God is not asking you to figure out the entire future. He's asking you to honor the present instruction, one step at a time, one act of obedience at a time, one decision rooted in faith instead of fear. This is how chosen ones move mountains without realizing it. They stay faithful to the assignment in front of them, and God handles the outcomes. You may have been tempted to go back to old patterns recently, to reconnect with familiar distractions, to revisit versions of yourself that felt safer. But safety is not the same as alignment. God is calling you forward, not backward. And forward always requires leaving something behind. Not everything you released was bad. Some things were good, just not meant to go where you're going. This primary assignment will also require patience with yourself. You are still learning, still growing, still shedding layers that no longer serve you. God is not rushing you because He is not worried. He sees the full picture. He knows exactly where He's taking you. Your responsibility is not to control the timeline, but to remain available to His guidance. You're entering a phase where your obedience will speak louder than your words. People will notice the peace on you, the steadiness, the clarity. They may not understand it, but they will feel it, and some will be drawn to it, while others will resist it. Both reactions are confirmation that your assignment is active. From this moment forward, your primary assignment is to stay anchored in truth, anchored in faith, anchored in the quiet confident. CE that comes from knowing you are walking with God, not ahead of Him and not behind Him. This is not the season to explain yourself. This is the season to trust God enough to let your life speak. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned with precision, and as you continue to walk this out, you will begin to see how every detour, every delay, every disappointment was shaping you for this exact moment. The weight you're about to carry requires the strength you've been building. Stay focused, stay obedient, stay humble. This assignment will not always feel dramatic, but it will always be significant. And as you continue to walk in it, you'll realize that God was not just preparing a task for you, He was preparing you for what comes next. Because this assignment is only the beginning. And what unfolds from here will require even deeper trust, even sharper discernment, and an even greater willingness to surrender control as you move forward step by step, listening closely, because the next instruction will come when you are fully present, fully aligned, and fully willing to follow without needing to see the entire path ahead. And as you remain in that posture of listening, you will begin to notice how God speaks most clearly when you stop rushing to fill the silence. Silence is not emptiness for the chosen ones. It is where instructions are refined. In the quiet, God rearranges priorities, corrects motives, and sharpens vision. T is why this assignment requires you to slow down internally. Even if life around you continues at full speed, your spirit must not move at the pace of pressure. It must move at the pace of obedience. There will be moments when you feel a strange urgency, not panic, but a holy alertness, an inner nudge reminding you to pay attention, to guard your heart, to choose wisely. That urgency is not meant to stress you, it is meant to keep you aligned. When God assigns something primary, He also heightens your awareness so you don't drift unknowingly. Drift is subtle. It rarely announces itself. It happens when you compromise a little here, delay obedience there, ignore that quiet conviction because it's inconvenient. But you are being trained now to recognize even the smallest shifts. This assignment is also teaching you how to detach without becoming cold, how to love without losing yourself, how to serve without self-betrayal. In earlier seasons, you gave too much to people who gave little back. You overextended because you thought being chosen meant being endlessly available. But God is correcting that misunderstanding. Being chosen means being stewarded. Your energy, your time, your compassion, your gifts, they are sacred. And sacred things must be protected. You will find that God is no longer allowing you to ignore your inner warnings. Situations that once lingered now resolve quickly, either by clarity or by separation. This is because your assignment does not tolerate PR. Prolonged confusion. Confusion drains power. Clarity preserves it. And even when clarity leads to difficult decisions, it brings peace afterward. Pay attention to that peace. It is one of the clearest confirmations you are on the right path. This primary assignment may not come with instant applause. In fact, there may be long stretches where no one acknowledges the growth happening within you. But heaven notices. God measures progress differently than people do. While others celebrate visible achievements, God celebrates obedience, restraint, consistency, and faithfulness in hidden places. What you do when no one is affirming you is shaping what you will be trusted with later. You are learning now that obedience is not about emotion. There will be days you feel inspired and days you feel tired, days you feel strong and days you feel unsure. But your assignment does not pause based on how you feel. It continues through discipline, through commitment, through choosing what is right, even when it feels uncomfortable. This is how spiritual authority is built, not through moments, but through patterns. At times you may look around and feel like others are advancing faster than you. Their lives may seem louder, more celebrated, more visible. But visibility is not always progress. Sometimes it is distraction disguised as success. God has you on a different track, one that prioritizes depth over speed. What He is building in you must last, and anything built to last requires patience. CE at the foundation stage. You are also being taught to release the need to be understood. This is a hard lesson for many chosen ones because you carry sincerity, depth, and good intentions. You want people to see your heart, but not everyone is meant to. Some people can only understand you at the level of their own healing, and that is not your responsibility to fix. God understands you fully, and that must be enough. This assignment will confront old wounds you thought were healed, not to reopen them, but to fully cleanse them. Sometimes God brings memories, emotions, or patterns back to the surface so they can finally lose their power over you. Do not resist this process. Healing is part of your assignment. You cannot carry what God has planned while still bleeding internally. Restoration is not optional, it is essential. You may feel moments of internal resistance where part of you wants to cling to old identities, old coping mechanisms, old definitions of success. That resistance is normal. Transformation always challenges familiarity. But remember, familiarity is not the same as safety. God is expanding you, and expansion always feels uncomfortable at first. Trust that discomfort does not mean danger. Often it means growth. This assignment will also refine your prayer life. You will notice your prayers becoming simpler, more honest, more focused, less begging, more listening, less performing, more surrender. God is not impressed by length or eloquence. He responds to alignment. When your heart posture matches His will, prayers become conversations instead of requests, and conversations build relationship, which is the foundation of everything you are being called into. There will be moments when you are tempted to doubt whether you heard God correctly, especially when progress seems slow or opposition appears unexpectedly. In those moments, return to the peace you felt when the assignment was first revealed. God often confirms His instructions with peace, not excitement. Excitement fades, peace remains. Let peace be your compass. Opposition does not mean you are wrong. Often it means you are effective. When your focus sharpens, resistance becomes clearer. But do not waste energy fighting every obstacle. Some battles are not meant to be confronted. They are meant to be bypassed through wisdom and restraint. Your assignment is not to prove strength, but to preserve alignment. You are learning now that silence can be a strategy. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every accusation needs a response. Not every invitation needs acceptance. God is teaching you discernment in speech because words carry power. When you speak less, you hear more. When you hear more, you move with precision. This season is also teaching you how to rest without guilt. Rest is not laziness, it is maintenance. God does not need you exhausted to be effective. He needs you whole. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It is often a sign of misalignment. When you rest as instructed, you return stronger, clearer, and more focused on your assignment. You may notice that God is reshaping your desires. Things you once wanted desperately no longer hold the same appeal. This is not loss, it is refinement. God is aligning your desires with your destiny so you no longer have to fight yourself to obey. When desire and assignment align, obedience becomes natural. This assignment will require ongoing surrender. Not a one-time decision, but a daily choice. Some days surrender will feel peaceful. Other days it will feel like letting go of something you still care about. But every act of surrender creates space for God to move more freely in your life. You are not losing anything that truly belongs with you. As you continue, you will begin to notice subtle confirmations, a word spoken at the right time, a door closing that saves you from future pain, a delay that redirects you towards something better. These are not coincidences. They are markers along the path, reminders that you are being guided even when you cannot see far ahead. Your assignment also includes learning how to forgive without reconnecting. Forgiveness is release, not re-entry. God may heal your heart without restoring certain relationships, and that is not failure, that is wisdom. Some connections were part of a lesson, not a lifetime. Letting go honors what they were without forcing them to be what they are not. You are also being taught to trust your growth. There will be moments when you respond differently than you used to, and it will surprise you. Where you once reacted, you now pause. Where you once chased, you now wait. Where you once explained, you now remain silent. These changes are evidence that the assignment is working within you. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. Small, faithful actions repeated over time shape outcomes more than dramatic gestures ever will. God values consistency because it reflects trust. When you keep showing up, even quietly, you demonstrate that your obedience is not dependent on recognition. There may be times when you feel like you are carrying more responsibility than others. That weight is not meant to crush you. It is meant to mature you. God entrusts more to those who can carry it without becoming bitter. Guard your heart against resentment. Comparison and resentment are distractions that drain strength. As you move forward, remember that clarity will come in layers. God rarely reveals everything at once. Not because he is withholding, but because growth happens in stages. Each stage prepares you for the next. If you had everything revealed now, it would overwhelm you. Trust the process of progressive revelation. You are not walking alone, even when it feels solitary. God often does his deepest work in seasons where external support is minimal. This is where dependence shifts fully to him. This is where faith deepens beyond theory into experience. What you learn here will sustain in you in seasons of abundance and visibility later. Your assignment is shaping your character more than your circumstances. Circumstances will change, opportunities will come and go, but character determines how long you can remain where God places you. God is far more concerned with who you are becoming than what you are achieving. Stay attentive, stay teachable, stay grounded. There will be moments ahead where decisions must be made quickly, and the clarity you are developing now will guide you then. This is why this season matters. This is why focus matters. This is why God said this is your primary assignment. As you continue to walk this out, you will sense that something is building beneath the surface, a quiet confidence, a steady assurance, not arrogance, but knowing that you are where you are supposed to be, knowing that even when the road feels long, it is purposeful, knowing that obedience today is preparing you for responsibility tomorrow, and as this unfolds, you will find yourself standing at moments where choices carry more weight than before. Moments where one decision can alter direction significantly. Do not rush those moments. Return to stillness. Return to listening. Return to alignment. The same God who gave the assignment will give the instruction for each step, and as long as you remain willing to follow, willing to release control, willing to trust, even when the next step is not fully visible, the path will continue to open in front of you. Steadily, intentionally, drawing you deeper into what has been prepared, where the next layer of purpose is waiting to be revealed. And as that next layer begins to reveal itself, you may feel an internal stretching, like your capacity is being quietly expanded without your permission. This is how God increases you, by enlarging your inner world before he ever enlarges your outer one. You are being trained to hold more without becoming unstable, to receive more without becoming proud, to carry more without collapsing under the weight. This kind of expansion doesn't come from striving, it comes from surrender. You will start to realize that your reactions are becoming slower, but your discernment is becoming sharper. Where you once responded immediately, you now observe. Where you once spoke quickly, you now listen deeply. This is not hesitation, this is maturity. God is teaching you that wisdom often moves at a different speed than impulse. Your assignment requires precision, and precision requires patience. There will be moments when God asks you to do things that seem insignificant to others but feel heavy to you. Simple acts of obedience, quiet decisions, unseen commitments. These are not small in the spiritual realm. Often the greatest shifts are initiated through actions that look ordinary. Do not underestimate what God can multiply when your heart posture is right. At times you may feel like you are holding back when everything in you wants to move forward. That restraint is intentional. God is teaching you how to govern your own strength. Power without restraint destroys itself, but power submitted to wisdom builds legacy. You are not being slowed down, you are being stabilized. This assignment will also teach you how to release control over outcomes. You are responsible for obedience, not results. When you try to manage results, you step into a role that belongs to God. When you focus on obedience, you stay light, clear, and aligned. Let God handle what you cannot see or predict. Trust that he is working beyond your awareness. You may notice that your emotional responses are becoming more refined. You still feel deeply, but you no longer allow emotions to dictate direction. You are learning to acknowledge, feelings without surrendering authority to them. This emotional maturity is essential for where you are going. God cannot place you in environments that require leadership if your inner world is still easily destabilized. As this assignment continues, you may experience moments of internal conflict where old fears try to resurface. Fear of failing, fear of disappointing others, fear of missing out, fear of being misunderstood. These fears are not signs that you are unqualified. They are signs that you are crossing thresholds. Fear often appears when something meaningful is at stake. Do not let it decide for you. God is also teaching you to trust the process even when it feels repetitive. Some days may feel the same. Same routines, same responsibilities, same quiet obedience, but repetition builds mastery. Faithfulness in the mundane prepares you for faithfulness in the extraordinary. Nothing is wasted when God is involved. You are learning that not every opportunity is an assignment. Some opportunities are distractions dressed as blessings. Just because you can do something does not mean you should. Discernment will save you from detours that cost time and energy. Your peace is one of the clearest indicators of whether something aligns with your assignment. There will be seasons where your progress feels internal rather than visible. Resist the temptation to measure your growth by external markers alone. Internal alignment often precedes external change. God is aligning your thoughts, your habits, your motives, and your values. When those are set, external shifts happen more naturally and sustainably. You may find that God is challenging your definition of success. What once mattered deeply may now feel secondary. This does not mean ambition is wrong. It means ambition is being purified. God is redirecting your desire toward impact rather than image, toward purpose rather than approval. This shift will protect you from chasing things that look good but leave you empty. This assignment will require you to trust God's timing even when it conflicts with your expectations. Timing is not just about when things happen, it's about when you are ready to handle them. God's delays are often in mercies in disguise. What feels like waiting may actually be preparation. You are also learning to walk by conviction rather than convenience. Conviction will sometimes ask you to choose what is right over what is easy. Convenience is tempting because it promises comfort, but conviction produces growth. God is strengthening your ability to stand firm even when it costs you temporarily. There may be moments when you feel like you are being tested, not tested for punishment, but tested for readiness. Tests reveal what has been internalized. They show whether obedience is situational or consistent. Do not fear these moments. They are opportunities to confirm what God has already built within you. As you continue, you will begin to see patterns in how God communicates with you, certain impressions, certain confirmations, certain repeated themes. Pay attention to these. God is consistent, and learning His language increases confidence. Over time, you will recognize His guidance more quickly and doubt less frequently. You are also being taught to honor boundaries without apologizing for them. Boundaries are not barriers, they are safeguards. They protect your assignment from unnecessary drain. God is not calling you to be inaccessible, but He is calling you to be intentional. Intentionality preserves clarity. There will be days when you feel deeply grateful and days when you feel deeply stretched. Both are part of the journey. Gratitude keeps your heart soft. Stretching keeps your faith active. Do not resent the stretch. Muscles only grow when they are challenged. The same is true spiritually. This assignment is not about perfection. You will still make mistakes. You will still learn through trial and error. God is not expecting flawlessness. He is expecting teachability. A teachable heart can recover quickly and adjust without becoming discouraged. Give yourself permission to grow. You may notice that God is refining your sense of identity. You are no longer defined by your past, your mistakes, or even your successes. You are being anchored in who you are becoming. Identity rooted in God is stable, flexible, and resilient. It does not collapse under pressure or inflate with praise. As you walk forward, trust that what feels unclear now will make sense later. Many answers come in hindsight. God often reveals purpose retrospectively, not prospectively. Keep moving with what you know, and clarity will catch up with you. You are learning to value alignment over speed. Speed without direction leads to burnout. Alignment ensures sustainability. God is building something that must endure seasons of pressure, visibility, and responsibility. Endurance is cultivated slowly. This assignment will also require humility, not the kind that diminishes you, but the kind that keeps you grounded. Humility keeps your heart open to correction and your spirit receptive to guidance. God resists pride because pride blocks growth. Humility keeps the channel clear. There will be moments when God asks you to trust Him with relationships, resources, or plans that feel important to you. Release does not mean loss, often it means transfer. God may return things in new forms, healthier forms, or at better times. Trust his stewardship. As you continue, you may feel a growing sense of responsibility, not pressure, but purpose. Purpose brings weight, but it also brings meaning. This weight will anchor you rather than exhaust you when carried with God. You're being prepared for conversations that have not happened yet, environments you have not entered yet, and responsibilities you have not received yet. Preparation always precedes placement. God does nothing abruptly. Everything is intentional. Stay attentive to your inner state. Guard against subtle compromises. Small misalignments can grow if ignored, but also guard against unnecessary self-criticism. Growth requires balance, honesty without condemnation. You are learning to trust that God's guidance will be sufficient when the moment arrives. You do not need to rehearse every possible outcome. Anxiety does not prepare you, faith does. Faith keeps you present and responsive. As this assignment continues to unfold, you may sense that your capacity for faith is increasing. What once felt risky now feels reasonable. What once felt impossible now feels approachable. This is evidence of growth. Do not rush this season. There is richness here that you will draw from later. The depth you are developing now will support you in seasons of expansion and responsibility. God often hides his greatest gifts in quiet seasons. And as you keep walking, listening, adjusting, and trusting, you will find yourself standing at the edge of moments where the next step requires courage without full clarity. In those moments, return to what you know, that you are guided, that you are prepared, that obedience has carried you this far and will continue to carry you forward as long as you remain willing to follow, willing to release, willing to trust the voice that has been leading you all along, gently, steadily, deeper into what is still unfolding. Chosen one. Let this settle deep within you. This was never about pressure, performance, or proving anything to anyone. It has always been about alignment, about trust, about learning how to walk closely with God when no one else can see the steps you're taking. Your primary assignment is not a burden placed on you. It is an invitation into clarity, into purpose, into a life led rather than forced. You are not wandering, you are being guided. Every quiet act of obedience, every moment of restraint, every decision rooted in faith has been shaping you for exactly what lies ahead. Stay attentive, stay surrendered, and stay faithful to what God has placed in your hands right now. As long as you do that, you will never miss what is meant for you. Because what is meant for you is already moving toward you, responding to your obedience, waiting for you to continue forward with trust, courage, and unwavering alignment.